I recently started writing a book, and what I found out in the process has blown my mind.
I was recently approached by an old school creator, a real author with more than 70,000 books sold. He's a real authority figure in the personal development niche with hundreds of thousands of people following him, and he has a YouTube subscriber count of 55,000 or so. And during our conversation, he mentioned that he did sell 70,000 among his 3 books, but what he didn't do, he did not capture all the leads or all the buyers that bought his books, right? Because as an old school author, the way they think is, hey, I write this book and I try to distribute it to as many people as I can. Now, in the new age or in the online marketing age where we have coaches, content creators fighting for attention, one of the best ways to actually publish a book is not go through a publishing house. There are big 5 publishing houses, and there is a very interesting dynamic going on between the publishing houses fighting for market share, with some staggering facts that 96% of all books published never reach 1,000 copies sold. So that means that only 4% of all the books being published are actually reaching more people than 1,000, which is crazy to think about. But that also means that all those authors, if they only rely on selling books and making money through books sold, they'll be broke. I mean, you cannot sell, 1,000 copies for $25 and what, you make 25K. That's beautiful. And what do you do with that? It's not enough to live, and it's not enough to keep your family alive or keep your business growing. So what we found, and what authors and content creators have been approaching me and my agency with, is basically building out a monetization structure behind their books, or we call them front-end products, but basically books in this case. And what we've been doing is quite interesting. Instead of taking the books as the main revenue driver, we're using the book as the kind of foot in the door for your audience. So basically, when you self-publish a book and you go ahead and start distributing it, you're not necessarily putting it on the shelves, because it's a lot costlier to have them printed and distributed with all logistics and whatnot. But you can go ahead and self-publish it. Now, once you self-publish it, basically you're writing a document, you're proofreading, copy editing, and you're making it into either a PDF or an ebook. Then you go ahead and start marketing it. Now, how do you market it? This is where personal branding comes in the picture, because if you are able to talk about your expertise, not only in your book, but throughout social media and by building your personal brand, the likeliness of you selling a lot more books and then making money in the back end offers behind the books is what really turns the needle and gets you into the monetization, not only as the author, but also as a personal brand. Now let's dive a little bit deeper in what I mean about back-end offers and front-end offers and monetizing your personal brand.
And the key here is, let me grab my mic because it's important. The key here is monetizing your personal brand, the personal brand, and not necessarily the book. All right. But Roland, what do you mean by that? I know, I understand. Let me show you at the whiteboard. The thing is, most educators are thinking one product at a time. For example, if you're writing a book, then you're writing one book at a time. Let's sell it as many times as we can and then make money. We're happy. Everybody's happy. You got the book, I got the money. Now, if you're thinking about monetizing your personal brand, using your book as a digital asset, the thinking process behind the entire funnel flow would be a little bit different. And this applies if you're not only having a book, but you have a course, and your book and whatever you're educating about is non-fiction, result-oriented, impact-based, and you're actually educating about something. So if you're writing a novel, this might not apply to you, all right? But if you're an educator, coach, content creator, fitness trainer, and so on, bear with me. What I want you to think about is using your book as a front-end product. This can be a course, this can be a $25 book, a $50 course. But what we're using here really is your personal brand to drive an entire ascension ladder behind your front-end product, whether it's the book or your course. In practice, what it looks like, you're selling your book at the front end and you're asking your people to give you their email, their name, possibly your phone number, and then later on you will be able to bring them into your ecosystem, into your thinking patterns, introducing your higher ticket program, introducing the concepts, the mind maps, the frameworks that you're using, and you will be charging them for more and more money. But throughout this ascension ladder that we call it, you're actually giving more and more knowledge and more practicable knowledge and result-oriented knowledge to your audience. The way I like to represent it is basically at the front you're selling the book, but in the back end you're putting either a mastermind, you're putting your big program, you're putting some type of digital product, a community where they're willing to pay a lot more to get either direct access to your knowledge, to your community, to your coaching calls, and so on, that you will be charging a lot more money for. Now in the front end, you're basically giving them your books, but throughout the time they will learn that after your book or after your course, they actually have a way to get closer to you. And those people that, you might have 1,000 people reading your book and only 100 people will be interested in getting to your high ticket. But that means that from that $25 times 1,000, that 25K that you made, you still have 100 people inquiring about your $3,000 high ticket or $5,000 high ticket product. Even if 10 of them ends up buying at $5,000, you still made double the money that you actually made on your front end product, which is the book, totaling at a total of $75,000. All right, you get the gist of it. Whiteboard goes back, Roland comes front. And why this is very important for you, because when CEO of Simon & Schuster, Jonathan Karp, has been asked who is the best-selling Simon & Schuster author currently, right now it's Colleen Hoover, he said. And basically, does she have the highest marketing budget that Simon & Schuster pays? No. Why is that? She's the queen of TikTok, and so she has a huge following on TikTok. And this is the reason why I'm saying, even as an author, you're monetizing your personal brand rather than your book. You're just using the book as a digital asset that monetizes your personal brand and your likability. So even as an author or as an educator or a coach, it's very, very essential in today's time and today's world to start creating content, to start creating and building your personal brand, because what you're really monetizing is the personal brand using these digital assets like a book, and you're not actually monetizing the book. And nothing proves my point better than this chart from Penguin Random House, which is one of the largest publishers in the world. Publishing is a portfolio business with profitability driven by a small percentage of books. This means that out of every 100 books published, only 35 are profitable. And these 35 are very, very likely that are written or published by someone with a personal brand. It's unbelievable to comprehend that even physical books, written words on a paper, are just going out of fashion because the social world, social media, digital content, and how we consume digital content is changing the way we think, the way we study, the way we read, and the way we make money. So as an author, as an educator, as a coach, you want to make sure that you focus a lot on your personal brand and you learn about monetization system. In case you need any help with that, you'll find me here on YouTube or you'll find me on Instagram. Feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help. I'll see you in my next video. Make sure to check out my channel if you're interested about monetization, building your personal brand, because that's what I'm all about, baby. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.